Hi, I'm Sarah Henry, Deputy Director and Chief Curator of the Museum of the City of New York, and we're here to see Valentina, American Couture and the Cult of Celebrity, curated by Cole Yohanan and Phyllis Magidson, who is the Curator of Costumes and Textiles of the Museum of the City of New York.
We are very happy to be able to present the first defining retrospective on the work of Valentina Schley, Mrs. George Schley, Madame Valentina, and was actually the exemplary case study of an individual who arrived on the shores of New York and invented an identity, really taking an opportunity to become her own dream.
She came to New York. She couldn't make a career for herself on stage because of her heavily accented English, and so she turned to design. And what we show in this section are some of her early designs, including a collaboration called Valentina and Sonia. And you can see some of her characteristics evolving in this section, including her early use of ethnic references, but then her beginning of a transition to what would become the vintage Valentina.
It is a very clear road that she takes from a very ethnic, artistic, bohemian aesthetic to one of sophisticated bias, perfection, and perpetual relevance. After she goes into her own business of Valentina gowns in 1928, Valentina has a very clear idea of where she's going, and you really see that she thinks of herself as someone who is beyond fashion. She makes a statement again and again that she hates fashion. She believes in style. Now that is a very American attitude versus the Parisian system of constantly changing, constantly renewing. Valentina wasn't really interested in selling you clothing on an ongoing basis. She really was in it from the gut. She really took great pride in what she did, and there was such an artistry, cutting and stitching, that is astonishing. It is so confident and so innovative that she certainly rivals the very top members of the Parisian couture herself. At the heart of the exhibition is a platform of design signatures that Valentina introduced to the fashion world. Valentina's monochromatic very, very clearly.
The next section of the exhibition is called The Theater of Valentina, and it looks at the theatricality of her designs, both her literal designs for the stage, because she designed some extensively for some of the leading actresses of her day, but also the theatricality of her designs for her clients offstage, in which she treated and encouraged them to treat their life as a theatrical event.
We have here her probably most shocking and memorable design, which was photographed and reproduced in Vogue, full-page photograph by Steichen. It is a design for Carmen. She felt that Carmen was as clever and as strong a personality as her male counterpart, and dresses her accordingly. Valentina wanted to place her clothes on bodies that would best reflect her skills as well. She was not an altruist. She wanted to place the clothes in the most desired venues in New York City or abroad. She wanted her clothes to appear on stage, worn by the foremost performers of her day.
The next section of the exhibition is about the cult of celebrity. And it looks at it really in two ways. One is her celebrity clients. Valentina was very selective about whom she would dress. She wouldn't necessarily accept you as a client if she didn't think that her garments were appropriate for you. But she did dress the A-list celebrities of her day. There's also a section in which we show some of the ephemera of the creation and the perpetuation of the myth of Valentina, because she was really marketing not her clothes, but her own persona.
This is a group of garments that were designed for some of Valentina's celebrity clientele. She dressed Catherine Cornell, she dressed Lynn Fontanne, she dressed Gertrude Lawrence, she dressed Millicent Rogers, who was on the best dressed list in perpetuity. She dressed Katharine Hepburn on and off stage, and of course Greta Garbo, who was perhaps her favorite client simply because it was as if she was looking at herself in the mirror. So Valentina, again, didn't do one thing that had enduring relevance. She did many, many things. The final section that we're looking at focuses on the concept of modularity, and modularity meaning creating a wardrobe that is based on parts. But, you know, Valentina just felt that a bolero provided you the option of totally changing the look of a garment. She wore them herself repeatedly, and virtually every example in this exhibition belonged to Valentina herself.
She's aware by the end of the 1950s that a new kind of informality is coming into American fashion, and that really the age of the cafe society, high style, the celebrities of the 1930s and 1940s is really coming to an end. And she makes a graceful departure before, at the height of her career.
She was so convinced in her that she was the perfect designer, that one of the reasons that she was not able ultimately to stay open after 1957 was, yes, we were going into a youth culture in this country, but Valentina also didn't evolve. There was an audacity there. There was a conviction of being the best, and this is something obviously that one also needed and still needs in the world of design. You have to be confident enough to go in and convince your client and the world that you are doing something fabulous, and she did. She did it very, very well.